So if you're a talkative person and you have a voice and you with someone who feels like you shouldn't, you're not his piece anymore. Because you're talking too damn much. That's what that means. Hey, young world. Happy Tuesday, January 30th. Tonight is the beginning of my Girl Talk series. So if you're looking at this video, it's actually after the 4th of February, because that's what I promised. My first Girl Talk series was going to be posted on the 4th of February. So it's after the 4th at this time, or on the 4th at this time. So today's discussion, or today's topic, is about being your authentic self, and why being your authentic self is important, and why and what it look like. Why it's important, and what does it look like? You know what I mean? And I think I chose this topic because over my years of living, especially when I was in my 20s or 30s or whatever, I always felt like it was important for me to be accepted by people. And when you feel like you want to be accepted by people, you pretty much give those people the jurisdiction over you, because versus allowing them to accept you for who you are, you're changing yourself to fall into their template of life. And that's not something that you want to do, right? Me, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I did it all the time because I wanted to be accepted. Maybe even as a teen, I did it because I wanted to be accepted. In my 50s, I don't. In my 40s, not so much. But definitely, I used to always say when I was dating, which is something that I don't do now, is I would question why people would present their representatives on dates and not who they are. Like, it's very seldom that individuals will actually walk up and on the first meet or the first date and be who they are. It's very seldom. They're going to show you someone else. They're going to show you who they think you want to see, not who they actually are. I mean, I think people have learned over time to curb their personality in that way. But in addition to curbing their personality, they're trying to figure out the ins and outs of you so they can manipulate that situation. So I have, over years, encountered many people many men, I'm just going to be honest with you, who have got into a relationship with me because they like qualities of me. And felt like that, okay, she don't fit the entire template, but maybe because her qualities are so good and she seems so kind-hearted, I can mold her a bit to be who I want her to be. And there was a time when that molding was possible because I wanted to be accepted. I believe that those situations placed me in a very bad environments, especially at a very young age, where I was assaulted as my first sexual encounter. It happened. And then, you know, as an adult, meeting people, you continue to fall into those thought processes of do they like me? Do they think I'm cute? How attractive am I? What more can I show to get their attention? All this kind of stuff. Is my hair not straight enough? Is my skin not light enough? Or should I broaden myself? Should I make this? And that's why we in the situation we are in now with all the, BBLs and stuff. That's why honey, is why we're there. I believe, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not part of the community. I believe small booties matter, so I got a small booty. But back on the subject. I do believe that's why people are going to changing up their bodies, because they want to be accepted, and they know that men like fat asses and stuff. And they do. Honey, if they tell you they don't, they lying. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't always be looking. You know what I mean? So anyway, my point is that being your authentic self, to me, is being able to walk with your head up high and not really worrying about what other people may say, think, or feel about you. And I think it's one of those coming of age events. Like, it's not something that you just automatically wake up and don't care. I think you grow into that mindset of, if I was to sit and look back over my life and all that I've been through and everything that I've struggled, every individual who has tried to make me someone else did not contribute to where I'm at today. They didn't. Because all they wanted to do was take advantage. All they wanted to do was manipulate the situation so I could be someone else, so that I could curve or become part of their template. And typically when they want you to become part of their template, it's because they have a vision of what it is they want their partner to be. So they would always talk about how women has these fantasies of how they want their man to be and how he should look and how he should X, Y, Z, and ABC. Men have those same fantasies. Men know if they want a woman that's tall, if they want a woman that's short, fun size, if they want thick. They know if they want light skin, if they want long hair, if they want curly hair. They know all that. And knowing that you're not going to always get 100% of what you want, they'll take what they can get and see if they can mold you into the rest. And if you allow a man to try to mold you into who you want them to be, you're not going to be happy. Because you're not walking on the path that you're supposed to walk on. I think what's very important, if you want to get biblical about it, is that we are all designers originals. I'm not supposed to walk like anybody else, and no one else is supposed to mimic me on my journey or how I look at all. So don't try to make me into something or someone that you want me to be. So in my marriage, towards the end of my marriage, one of the things that I had a very hard time dealing with was that I would tell my mom, it is evident that I'm not what he wants. It was evident. And if you guys go back into previous vlogs, y'all got to keep up. So if you're new to this station, baby, this is a reason to rewind. Go back, look at previous vlogs. But in previous vlogs, I told y'all I was with individual almost over a decade. Dating him. We got married, and the marriage didn't last a year. And within that marriage, because I was so close. Now, keep in mind, I've also told y'all that I don't believe with living with men. So, in my 51 years of living, I've only lived with 3 men. 2 I was married to, 1 that I was dating, and I was with him for 5 years. Biggest mistake I could have ever made. And I said I would never do it again, and guess what happened? So I'm not going to just be with a man, living with him, just because it's convenient. For who? For why? It's not necessary. But one thing living arrangements do is help you truly see the individual that you're dealing with. Like, you don't see the full characters of people when you dating and y'all in different households, baby. When you get into the same household, you learn if that motherfucker wash their ass the right way. You learn if they always on their text machines. That's what I call cell phone text machines sometimes, because sometimes people just don't move away from that shit. They just own it like it's the best thing in life. If an individual that's very reserved and need quiet like me, like I need quiet time. So an example is that even though I love vlogging and even though I love my work, I have to remove myself from people, or else it's like my energy depletes. Too much people around me or in my space or anything makes my energy low. So I have to be away from people, even if it's just communications, to build myself back up. It's the weirdest thing, but these are facts for me. And I don't know if it's anxiety. I don't know what it is, but people drain the fuck out of me. They really do. So when you live with someone, you tend to understand begin to understand the dynamics of the person. I'm a very reserved individual. I'm a very quiet individual. Naturally, I typically stick to myself. I think I showed that because when I first started vlogging, it was very hard for me to even articulate my thoughts. Baby, I got 3 degrees. Speaking should not be a problem. But knowing that I'm speaking to people, it makes me stumble a lot. It really does. It's kind of like you're out of your element. And I'm the same way when it comes to getting to know new people. Like, you would never know. You would never know that I'm extremely educated, and you wouldn't, because I can't get my words out half the time, and so it's clear on a lot of my vlogs. It happens, but the point I'm trying to make is that when you're living with someone, you learn the dynamics of that individual, and a lot of times in my last marriage, we would be in separate rooms. I'd be in the front room, he'd be in the back room, in the back living area. He'd be back there. It's actually in my guest quarters, but he'd be back there chilling on his text machine, on his computer. And as time went on, I would realize that's what he preferred, was to be away from me, to be in separate. Like, I would realize it, because whenever he would get close to me, it was an argument. Whenever we would come together, it would be some type of fictitious argument that would arise that would make no sense at all. At all. And I'll admit to everybody, I'm as stubborn as hell. I'm not going to do too much bending. I'm not. Now, I told y'all I'll compromise. But if you expect me to bend over backwards, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to jump through hoops for now person, because then now person get me here. So I'm just keeping it real. It's not going to happen. So marriage to me is probably not a cakewalk. And I'll just speak from the other person. I'm just going to be honest with you. It may not be a cakewalk, because I am not a person that's going to just put up with any shit. And I think that's what not walking into your authentic self essentially is women who are willing to turn the other cheek every time they see something happen. Women who are willing to accept the term from a man, you supposed to be my piece, meaning you ain't supposed to have a voice. You just supposed to sit there and be quiet and look pretty. That's what that means. So if you're a talkative person and you have a voice and you with someone who feels like you shouldn't, you're not his piece anymore. Because you're talking too damn much. That's what that means. I'm just saying, y'all, that's what that means. So when you're living with someone, you become very acquainted with that person. In my ex, he got comfortable being in there. But being the person that I am, and I told y'all I'm very observant. I'm paying attention to everything. I'm looking around. I'm paying attention because it's my home. And my home is supposed to be peaceful. My home ain't supposed to have no drama, no nothing. My home is supposed to be peaceful. But if I'm sitting here looking at you, playing on your text machine, and you blushing and shit, that's something else going on that text machine than you just speaking to your homeboy. Unless if I can come around the corner and the computer is facing the way the corner is, and all of a sudden you tilting, there's something more going on than you just sitting there reading the news. And for women, they choose to turn the other cheek to that because they so caught up in the fact that I need this relationship, so I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say that's bothering me. I'm not going to say this, that, and the other. So you turning the other cheek. You're not being your authentic self. You're not saying what's on your mind. You're harboring that, giving yourself high blood pressure because you're afraid to ask, the hell you looking at? What got you smiling like that? Like, what you kikiing about? Like, because you know the difference between I'm trying to cut up me some sweet potatoes, but I'm gonna mess around and miss a meal talking to y'all. You know the difference between when your man is chatting with a homeboy via text, because typically when a dude is talking to a homeboy via text, it's a couple of words. You constantly going back and forth, and you know they ain't just holding no conversation with another dude. If so, he running up that dude's skirt. Period. If it's that much, because I don't care how close two dudes are, I don't believe me, honey. I don't believe men like to be up under men like that. Unless, and I'm not liking the LGBTQ community at all. Let me put that out there. I am not knocking them. Me and my children refer to you guys as the mafia. My daughter has a wife. I love you guys. But I'm just speaking of my situation. I'm just speaking of the fact, if I'm in a home with my husband, and he's on his text machine, kikiing and cacaing, in my mind, it would not be a male. In my mind, it's a female, because a male shouldn't have you blushing like that. And shouldn't have you on your text machine for hours. So, of course, I'm going to ask you, who the fuck got you smiling like that? And if you don't, you're not being your authentic self. So to me, again, being your authentic self is allowing you to speak up, to walk in your genuineness. If something's bothering you, you should be able to say what's bothering you. You shouldn't have to feel like you can't say it. To me, walking in your authentic self is being able to wear your hair, your makeup, your nails, the clothes you wear, how you want to wear it without someone complaining about how you look. And I'm not saying it's anything wrong with if you and your boo, husband, boyfriend, whomever is going out on a date and he decide, and you put on an outfit and you ask him, babe, how I look? Because you want to know if it's cute on you or not, because you don't have anyone else to tell you that your hips are too big for that skirt. That's one thing. But if someone in your relationship, male or female, see you and they be trying to degrade you in how you look, That's something totally different. So let's be clear on that. That's something totally different. You know what I mean? So you should be able to be your authentic self. And in my marriage, I was telling you about how I would tell my mom, I don't think I'm what he wanted. And she was like, what do you mean? Y'all been together for, and now you married. Why wouldn't he want you now? But it's clear to me I'm not it. And she was like, well, why do you feel that way? Because of how he treats me. How disrespectful he is. How he talks to me. How he acts like he doesn't like me. It's clear I'm not what you want. And I'm okay with that. But don't try to hold on to me because it's convenient for you. Don't do that. That's not fair to anyone. Because again, I'm gonna always be me. You can't change me. You can't change who I am. There's no way in hell you're not gonna be able to change who I am. So if who I am ain't good enough for you, guess what? You need to go ahead and be on the opposite side of that door. You don't need to be in here with me. You don't need to be in here with me. So authenticness, for me, and being your authentic self, brings peace, health, and wholeness, just in general. Because I'm kind of at the age where, and I've grown into this, I really don't care about anybody else's opinion. I really don't. I really don't care about if someone agrees with how I live or what I share and why I share, because this is my story. This is my truth. I'm standing in my truth. All of it. So whatever freaking lens you feel like you may see it from, that's your business. But from my lens, I'm going to stand in my truth. I'm going to stand in my authenticness. Period. So I feel like as we grow as women and become the best version of ourselves, just in general, we need to be willing to speak up for ourselves more. We need to be willing to not be the only biblical person in the house who's willing to turn the other cheek. Because I guarantee you, if that dude don't care for you, like you think he care for you, when it comes down to you getting in trouble outside the house, oh, he gonna be quick to turn the other cheek to act like he didn't see the bullshit that just happened to you. He gonna do it because he don't respect you in the house. I mean, it's not difficult for you to see the signs, or see how people move, pay attention to how people move, be realistic about what's actually happening. It's just wanting to accept what you're seeing. And I've been through so much in life, honey, I can guarantee you, and I will promise you that there's a lot of things that I've just kind of like seen, and I'll be like, well, I don't want to be too pushy. Like, I've had people tell me, because I've said to myself, well, I really don't think I should do this or be in this relationship. And people tell me, you're going to always be by yourself, or you're going to always do this. You need to give them a chance. Just give them a try. If I had went for my first mind, me and you wouldn't be on YouTube today talking about my stories. We would not. Because I promise you, I wouldn't have went through the bullshit. Nowadays, when I say I'm not going to do, I don't do. Matter of fact, if I had to, I had a troll not too long ago on YouTube who was sending me text messages or messaging me through one of my vlogs. And he was asking, I don't know what it was asking me all these weird questions. And I know in at least 3 of them, I've stated that I'm not trying to date or I'm not interested. So if you've truly been interested in what I've had to say, them questions wouldn't be questions that you have. So get off my page. Get off my blog. That's how I felt. Like, why are you? No, I'm not interested in entertaining nobody. I don't care. So don't send me no stupid ass message talking that I just want to get to know you. No, you don't want to get to know me. If you want to get to know me, you're going to listen to my vlogs. That's about as close as you're going to get to me. That's it. At this point, at this stage, in this moment in my life. Period. But before, I was more so willing to lean on who I am. And that's why I say, I know I'm not the easiest person to deal with. I'll just keep it a buck with you. I'm not, because I'm not finna just put up with anything. I've been through so much in life and have been so successful in where I'm at today, even through all the BS I've been through, knowing that not a soul got me here. Not a soul, not an individual got me to this point. It was nothing but the grace of God that has gotten me to this point. I could have been dead or beat to death or anything over my life period. And now, honestly, I am terrified of relationships. Terrified. That's why I won't. Like, I talk to my children about it all the time. And my children know me better than anybody. They know me better than anybody. And they know what mama's going to put up with and what's not. My granddaughter is 5 years old. And when they came home during the holidays, and she told her mama, she said, now, mama, you know TT don't play games. Now, if a 5-year-old know that, and she's already telling people that, it's clear. I shouldn't have to explain that to nobody at all. So, again, I just feel like when you're not authentic with yourself and how you feel and how you look, how you carry yourself, how you walk about, it allows people to try to put you in their box, to try to make you their template. And you shouldn't have to be, because you're not going to be happy. And most of the time, it happens when you are too willing to please. Because you want to make someone else happy. So you're willing to dummy yourself down to do it. But if I can offer one word of encouragement before I end this vlog, because I'm past, I typically do about 20, 30 minutes. Never allow anyone to dim your shine. Never. Because you are great and perfectly made as the individual that you are. And I love you.